What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Deluxe, and today we are back with another podcast. And we've been taking some breaks here and there with the podcast. We've taken a couple weeks breaks in there in between, but for the most part, we are back. And today, I believe the lineup is going to go like this: nobody epic. Shadow should be here in a minute, and we have a special guest today, and that is Respawn. He was on the very first podcast that we did, if you don't remember Respawn, and he is back today. We dug him up from the grave, and we have got him on. This is the first time I talked to Respawn in probably, how long, Respawn?
2 months, maybe.
2 months, yeah, 2 months. And the reason why I haven't talked to Respawn that much is because he has been kind of gone. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. The first topic we have is taking breaks on YouTube or Twitch or anything in life. I mean, I think breaks are always good to regen and do things like that. So as the crew, we have taken a lot of breaks in the last, I would say 2 years is something that we've been taking more breaks as we go through. We're kind of enjoying the process, but also taking breaks when needed and trying to, regen. I know for myself, this year I've taken more vacation days than I have in the past probably 5 years. It's come to a point where I'm going to get ahead on some videos. I'm not going to spam YouTube with 50 videos a day or anything like that, but I wanted to get ahead so that I can have some time to relax and not have to worry about the daily grind of YouTube. So basically how my schedule goes on a daily basis is I wake up, I kind of get everything. I check all my social media. I lay in bed and look at Reddit for about 20 minutes. That's probably the number one thing that I do. Then when I check all my social medias and I reply to the people I need to reply to, I look at comments from the 5, 6, 7, 8 hours that I was sleeping. And then I get up and I go ahead and edit as much as I can. I upload. I don't have the fastest internet in the world. So it takes me probably an hour to upload a 10-minute video that is, HD, 60 frames, 1080p. And then I try to look what I'm going to do the next day and then maybe have some free time there, about an hour or 2 hours to either eat, watch TV, watch Twitch, watch other YouTube videos like the crew and look at some of the things that I want to do. And then we get on at the same time every night, which is 10 o'clock Eastern, and we play. And then I try to stream afterwards during the summer just so I can, get some stream time on there because I've been lacking on that, and I want to go ahead and do that. And then I repeat the process over again. And so after you do that for over and over and over again, it's really nice to have a break or a week. Like I took a week and I went to Florida, had some fun time on the beach and stuff. And then I'm about to take another break with D20. We're about to leave for a 3-day vacation, just kind of chill and have some boy time, hang out. But it's always nice to have a little bit of time off. And I know Joel has taken some time off, and with Respawn, this is I think the big, because he used to stream 24/7. Every time I'd look up Respawn was streaming, he would have, he'd be playing, I think, H1Z1. He grew up with me on the DayZ stuff. Respawn and I used to stream DayZ 24/7 back in the day when I was freaking, I don't know what kind of
before
stream.
You abandoned it.
Yeah, abandoned it pretty much. A 1080 144p streamer, and yeah, basically that. So Respawn, tell me a little bit about why you took a break and also how it's been taking a break. Was there any withdrawals with it, or what was going on with it?
There were withdrawals for sure. The last time I streamed on Twitch was February 7th. I actually just saw that because I logged into Twitch for one of the first times just to share my resub for you.
Oh, yeah, thanks, man.
Anyway, February 7th. I went to Japan for a couple of weeks back, a week after that. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, when I was out in Japan, it felt so good not to stream, not to think about streaming. And so during that time, I kind of just started realizing that the whole Twitch streaming and all of that consumed everything about me. When I was at work, wherever I was, whatever I was doing, I was just thinking about my next stream or this stream or getting numbers up. And that was never like what I was like when I started streaming, and I hated it. But like, that's just how it goes. Like I think everyone goes through it, and I just got to the point where I hated it. I hated to stream. Like I love to stream to see everyone and like hang out with all the friends and all that, but the actual streaming part of it, it's just like you just get in this like pit of depression. You just can't dig out, and I just stopped streaming.
Well, with you, one thing too, Respawn, was that you grinded so hard to get partnership. That was a big thing for you. So I know that people that right before Twitch had this big where you can make bits and things with other people, and a little bit easier to get partnered. It was really hard to get partnered, and you had to have consistent basis, and you had to stream consistently. And so he was grinding like every single day trying to get partnered. And when he finally got partnered, then he felt like he had to keep it up. And I remember talking to you about that a little bit, like how you just had to feel like you got to keep it up.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, my work, my day was, I was getting up at 7 a.m, streaming for a couple hours, then going to work, working 10 hours, getting home at like, 10, 11 at night, going to sleep, getting up, it's just like routine, man. No time for like outside friends, anything. And you lose touch, man. I lost touch with a lot of my good close friends. Like my best friend, he's a golf pro. Like we golfed all the time. Stopped doing that, and it just, I don't know. You just get depressed, and it just consumes you. It's so hard to get out of, but it's the best decision, I think. I'll probably stream again, maybe like here in a little while, maybe just randomly, but not to the extent I ever did before.
That's good. Now, with you taking a break from it, you're leaving a small community behind. I don't know if you know, but Respawn started kind of like this thing called the Cult, and I'm part of it on Twitch too. And he leaves like some guys behind that are kind of up in the ranks. I think Stormin, if you guys don't know who Stormin is, he's a pro H1Z1 player, and Respawn and his friends kind of found Stormin before he was really big, and kind of I ain't gonna say you helped Stormin, but you helped guide Stormin to know the ins and outs of Twitch and things like that. And now Stormin's a really big streamer, and he's part of the Cult too. And there's a lot of good guys there that are part of the Cult. They're kind of trying to come up in the Twitch game too, and so. That has to be the toughest thing. I think that once Respawn quit streaming, for me, it was that I kind of lost touch with some of those guys too. I go in there every once in a while. He has a team speak. I go in there every once in a while and try to mess with those guys. Like I still like to talk to some of those guys that are mods in his stream, and I have a couple mods that are in my stream. But that's the hardest part, is you have friends over there and you want to keep up with them, but IRL kind of takes over at some points, and same for me. Is that I'm luckily have D20, which is here now. What's up, D20?
What up?
Where I get to mesh the two together, where I have real life friends that are involved in this whole YouTube and Twitch thing, where I can go and talk to D20 about what's going on in both worlds, in our real life and what's going on in our YouTube and Twitch life. So that's good for me. But with Respawn, I think the biggest thing for me is when he said that he was taking a break, he was spending time with his real life friends, and he would text me and say, "What's up?" And I'd call him, say, "What's up?" And he was like, "I'm just having a good time hanging out with my friends." And that's kind of like the biggest thing I miss. And I think that's important for people that get into this YouTube and Twitch thing, is that it's not, you're going to sacrifice something. If you want to be popular, if you want to be very successful on any platform, you're going to have to give up something. And I think, same time, I know Joel's kind of went through some things like that. I don't know if he wants to share all that, nothing too crazy, but you have to give up stuff. Like, that's how it works. Like, you're going to have to end up giving up your friends, some of your friends. That's going to be lost time, family time. You're going to end up giving up time that you want to spend to do things, and that's why breaks are so important. When you're into all this YouTube and Twitch and anything you do in life, if you're going to be 110%, you're going to have to give up something, and time and friends and stuff like that is something definitely. Like I don't know if I've lost too many friends because of it, because I didn't have like a huge friends base. I always kept like a small base of friends and kept them close, and I kind of keep up with them as much as I can, but I can see where it would definitely, put a strain on some of that as well. So, anyways, Joel, what about you and some of the breaks that you've taken on YouTube and Twitch?
Well, I don't know. I never planned breaks. I think it's kind of like you said. If you want to be really great at this, you kind of have to be obsessed with it. I was looking at r/NBA today. That's one of my favorite subreddits, and there's NBA memes and news and talks and stuff. And there was this. So for those who don't follow sports, this isn't about sports, but LaMarcus Aldridge on the Spurs, he hasn't been working out there really. They acquired him as a free agent, and he was a high-profile I think it was a free agent. He's a good basketball player, pretty good. Can average 20 and 10, which is good for a big man. And obviously, if you know anything about basketball, they had another player, Tim Duncan, probably the best power forward of all time. And there was a little anecdote on r/NBA today because LaMarcus Aldridge, things aren't working out for him there. They're trying to trade him, but he has low trade value. And it was about this Tim Duncan and LaMarcus Aldridge working out together. And LaMarcus Aldridge was getting really tired. I don't even know who got this account, but LaMarcus Aldridge was getting really tired, and Tim Duncan, who was 39 years old, was saying, "Come on, man, you got to keep going in the workout." LaMarcus was like, "I don't know how you do it, man. You're 39. I'm exhausted right now." And Tim Duncan said, "I do it because if you want to be good, you have to keep pushing your body as you get older and push harder and harder." And LaMarcus said, "Fuck that, I'm out." And he walked off the court. So I've been LaMarcus Aldridge before. The really good YouTubers are Tim Duncan, where they just keep pushing themselves over and over. I think for the majority of people, once you achieve a certain goal, once I got 1 million subs, or once you, Respawn was so obsessed with getting the partnership, and then you feel like you need to keep the partnership up. I was obsessed with getting 1 million subs and passing all those people. And once I achieved that goal, I didn't really have a lot of goals. And then you kind of lose your obsession with it. But I do see it as a good thing. I am envious of the people who are able to balance their social life and balance being obsessed with YouTube. I know that's a relatively small number of people. There's relatively small superstars in the NBA or in any sport. There's relatively small YouTube superstars as well, because it's extremely hard, as you say, to find a balance of a social life and YouTube, or maybe they just completely sacrifice their social life because being good on YouTube is enough for them, which is fine. I guess I'm not wired that way, but if you are, more power to you. But yeah, just 2013 was, I feel like, when I stopped being all the way obsessed with YouTube. It was my most successful year on YouTube, I believe, in terms of financially and in terms of views and stuff. But it really, too much of anything is usually not a good thing, and it really wrecked my personal life to just be obsessed with YouTube and not going out with real friends. So I'm not even on the podcast a lot because I try to go out on the weekends. Mm-hmm. Just now, and I'm a lot happier to have to be married and hang out with real friends and get outside a lot more. I find a lot when it is to be in a room a lot. It kind of even bums me out now just to play video games a lot. I don't want to sound like it's complaining though, because this is the luckiest job in the world, and there's nothing else I would do. But I'm just trying to explain, I guess, my own state of mind, because I was kind of lamenting about stuff because I can be kind of a curmudgeon. And on my stream the other day, and someone was like, "I work my ass off for 30 cents of the dollar, you play fucking video games all day." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, I do feel bad the way you say that. I'm sorry I'm such a fucking rain cloud." But that's, just trying to explain my state of mind. Usually if you do a job like this, you kind of internalize a lot of stuff anyway. That's the only reason sitting in your room on a microphone, I guess, makes sense. I've been to many conventions in my day, and a lot of gamers are introverts, or introverts trying to be extroverts. I guess if that's me generalizing, I'm sorry, but I'm definitely in that category, an introvert who tries to be an extrovert. But so the mental burnout, I can relate to that.
Yeah, and I know for Joel too, he was killing it on YouTube, and he does a really good job, and he takes his time on any product that he puts out. I think he probably does the best out of any crew member, period. When he puts out something, he really tries to put his heart into it and make sure that's 110% before he actually...
with that, but I appreciate you saying
that. He does, guys. Just you can look at his videos and tell the difference between his videos and my videos. He spends probably an extra 5, 6, 7 hours. Like, how long does it take you to do shit from last week? Let's be honest.
Shit from last week, though. Like,
yeah, but still, you still do that. I don't grind like that for one video.
Like, I remember we were talking about back in the day, and it works. There's no right answer to this question. The YouTube philosophy, specifically YouTube gaming philosophy of make a video a day or spend 2-3 days on a great video. Mm-hmm. And I think ideally, if you can make it work for you, the strategy I would love is if you can spend 3 days on a video. Amen. However, that video needs to do
very well.
Really, really well. I stunted my own growth by taking breaks and not trying as hard. And if I could have taken advantage of my growth back in the day, I would have just said, when I was averaging like 100,000, whatever, how many views, whatever I put up, I would say, all right, I'm going to commit to this philosophy of I'm going to take like 3 days, make a great video, and then just chill and shit, like Vanas style or whatever. I mean, he doesn't just chill, but they're a great edited video. And then I don't know, I really like that because so I was talking with Wildcat about it at E3. It's like, it feels like with just how YouTube is going towards the live streaming, and I do like live streaming as well, but it's like, they're kind of saying like fuck you to people who edit videos in a way, because a lot of the live streams are the things that show up first on search results. If you like search just Friday the 13th or whatever, most of the top results on the page or most of the results, it's going to be people that just streamed it. And which is and if you edit a Friday the 13th funny moments video like we like to do sometimes, it's like well, great job putting all that effort in the video. You should have just gone live, and then you could have got more views because it counts the number of viewers you had during your stream. So it kind of artificially enhances the number of views you have on that video. It makes you look like a better YouTuber, so more people are going to want to click on it. That's actually, I would say that's a mental thing that people do to say, oh, this video has more views, it must be better. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a more of a personal thing, like a fucked by YouTube type thing. But I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about, honestly, but that's a philosophy I like. And I like editing videos. Yeah, that's when it's worth it. Like when the content is good, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to not edit it.
Yeah. Do you feel like do you feel good about when you go on vacation too, Joel? Like, do you feel like there is some relief off your shoulders when you're gone, so you don't have to, like, if you have some videos scheduled uploaded or...
Oh, well, I said this to you guys before E3 because, like, this E3 was the longest I've been gone ever since I started YouTube. Even my honeymoon, I was gone for 10 days for E3, and even my honeymoon I was gone for, I think, 6 days or something. And so that was the longest I've been gone. So in my mind, I had to get 17 videos ready, and I created this, and also the week before I had to babysit my nephew all week, and Megan works full time, so it was mostly just me and him, so I didn't have a lot of time to edit then. So it was like I was learning how to be a parent at this. I mean, I know how to like be with my nephew, but like if I was a parent on YouTube, what that schedule would be like, trying to find like little windows to edit. So it created this kind of artificial deadline for me, which made me feel really good to have, like, be like, all right, if you don't edit 17 videos or whatever, you're not going to have videos up from when you're gone. Your channel's going to suffer. And that felt really good. And because there was an actual, like, I actually had to get on a plane. So I don't know why mentally it's a little more difficult to do that when you're not going to go somewhere. Maybe, people who are like really successful, that it's easier for them to do that. But yeah, it feels good to create videos, kind of create an artificial deadline for yourself. And I know Respawn was talking about leaving streaming. I think that there's like, I don't know how to really compare the two, but I think it's harder to leave when you're a big streamer, because I think it's easier to burn out as a streamer, probably just because you're like, it's on camera always be on. I think it's much easier to burn out streaming when YouTube, like you said, I could go hard for a couple of days, be like, all right, I'm feeling like kind of the burn. I'll edit a couple of videos. Like this week, I got 3 videos ahead, and I kind of just honestly fucked around for 2 days. I didn't get a video up tonight, which kind of was, I fucked around one day too long. But they like, you can do that on YouTube. On Twitch, you feel guilty if you're like gone. So
Yeah, I've heard Summit and Lyric talk about that when they're streaming. They come back from a day off and they're like, "Holy shit! I just lost 1,000 people sub to me," and they're like, "Just because people, no." And so they said,
"You'll be at like a." What am I going to be? One of the most beautiful. What if I'm in Niagara Falls with my wife? You know, one of the most beautiful locations in the world. Seeing one of the most beautiful things in the world. That you're only going to live for so many hours in your life. I'm going to be on my deathbed thinking about Niagara Falls or thinking about the number of subs I lost that day. Yeah. Like I shouldn't be looking at Niagara Falls thinking -1 sub, -2 sub, like every 3 minutes or something.
It gets obsessive though.
Stream culture
really
is extremely weird to me. It's crazy. I mean, mad props to the people who do it well. I love, we all watch Twitch and we all love people who stream. But yeah, that just hearing the minds of some streamers talk. The really well-adjusted ones, I feel like, are able to be like, all right, I'm going to stream, but I'm going to live my life too. Mm-hmm. But there is that guilt that it's like, man, I never want to, I don't want to have that.
Well, with Lyric, last year, I believe, he used to stream 24/7, like he was streaming 7 times a day, and now he takes off every Thursday for him just to have off. So that's a big thing that he actually, started doing. But, he's like the biggest streamer that I know that does it 24/7, can maintain such a high level, a pace on everything he does. But I get that same kind of feeling. Like when I had my internet out for last summer, it was like a couple of months. I know Joel made a video for me and made me feel like that was the best thing a friend could ever done. Joel made a video for me, and then I would create videos on my computer with no internet that would be single player, do commentary on them, render, put them on a thumbstick, and run them to D20,000. And he would upload for me. And so basically, I know that was like.
But if you're a streamer, you would just be fucked.
Oh, I would be
unless you
done.
went to an off. You would have had to rent an office space.
Oh yeah, I actually looked into that because I didn't know how my internet was going to be at this new place, and my internet's way better than it used to be ever. Like 4 times better than it ever used to be. But I actually looked into renting an office space and driving there at night so I could play games and stream or whatever. So, man, it was like I had big anxiety for a long time because I didn't know. I had to wait on an engineer to get to my house to run a freaking line underneath. And once they hooked up that internet, I didn't know how fast it really was going to be. They tell you it's going to be so-and-so and so-and-so, but you don't really know until they actually hook it up and they're like, oh yeah, shit, sorry, we can't get this at your house because it's across the road from blah, blah, blah. Or because no one on my even in my local area had the internet that I wanted. And so when I finally found out, I was like, you're joking because there's no way you have it. And so when they actually had the internet that I needed, that was the only one in the area. Like, you're the only one hooked up like this. I'm like, holy shit. So it's been good. This has probably been the most consistent internet I've ever had and everything. But yeah, it's very stressful when you don't have control and you feel like you have to be making content, and especially when you have no internet, that's a huge thing as well. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next subject because I feel like some people think that we stay on one too long. And this question comes from Lynn Vance 97. He wants to know what did you think you were going to do as a job when you grew up? Like, what was the thing that you thought you were going to do as you grew up? Shadow's here now. What's up, Shadow? How you doing, buddy?
Hi.
What was the job you thought you were going to do, Respawn, when you were growing up?
Well, my uncle was a police officer in Chicago, and I growing up, I thought that was the coolest thing. So when I was really young, I wanted to be a cop. I think a lot of boys, you know what I mean, like fireman, cop, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think once I hit middle school, high school, I really didn't know. But then you start kind of dreaming. So it's like, I want to be in the NBA, or I want to be a baseball player. And then, you start getting into other crowds. It's like, I want to be in a band. And then you kind of hit the workforce and you're just like, I'll be anything if I can pay this rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if I don't have to eat top ramen every night, I'll be it. So I think police officer was probably the first real thing that I wanted to be that I can remember.
That was the same thing for me when I just went to my parents' house yesterday for kind of a late Father's Day because I was out of town for the real Father's Day. my mom pulled out a bunch of pictures, and she was like, "Remember when you wanted to be a police officer?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She flipped over the page, and I had like all this police gear on, and I was like, I can vaguely remember that, being looking up to police officers and stuff. I think they get a bad rap, now because of social media and anything that happens wrong with them
when they shoot people.
Well, that's like one out of like a billion. Like there's so many good cops.
I don't want to start that debate in the comments.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, thanks a lot. And so I wanted to be a cop, and then as I got older, you're right. There is that as a like an athletic boy growing up, I wanted to be a pro player. I think a lot of them do. Then when I got to high school, I learned that that's not even a realistic goal at all. Like not even close. Especially, I'm 5'10". I have not seen a professional besides like Muggsy Bogues when it comes to professional basketball and even baseball players now that everybody's 6'1", 6'2", even as a shortstop or an outfielder. I was in high school. I was probably 5'10", 145, 150 wet. That was I was a decent football player, decent soccer player.
Where did you hold that 5 pounds of water?
Exactly, in my pockets, bitch. But I thought that during when I was growing up in junior high that I had a shot, going pro. Like we think it's that easy, or you get a college scholarship, and getting a college scholarship is very rare too. The percentage on that is stupid low, but I thought that too. And then as I even got to college, I was like, what do I want to do with my life? And the first major that I went into, I'll give you the first two majors I went into actually. The first one I went into was nursing because I thought I wanted to make money. I was like, I just got to make money. What makes me the most money as a male? And so I was like, nursing's good. Like that's pretty good money. And I got there and I met the dean of students or dean of whatever it is of our department or whatever. And she was a bitch. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Fuck this. So I walked out the door and I went over to computer science. And I looked at their list of things that you had to do. And there was fucking 50 math classes. And I was like, fuck this. I am not taking... Math is my worst subject. I hated math in high school. Like, it was the worst thing in the world. And I was like, I'm not doing this. This is not what I'm doing. So I did try to do it for a half the semester, and I said, fuck it. But, yeah, that is something that I was like, Jesus Christ, I just got to make money. What is the biggest thing to make money? Because I remember in high school, too, they passed around this piece of paper, and it's like a career guiding plan or a web, and you basically pick the things you like, and it prints out something that you should be good at or that you would be good at doing as a job. And one of those things, like if you turn over the back pieces of paper after you're done, it shows like what you would make for each of those jobs. And computer science was like the highest one. I remembered that in high school. It was like 120,000, like 80,000 starting off or something stupid, which is not true at all. But that's what the paper said. And I was like, I'm going to make $120,000 a year being just doing stuff on the computer, making video games. Like that's what I thought in my head. Like I'm going to fucking make video games for $120,000 a year. Not going to happen, but... Anyway, so yeah, that's just something I always wanted to be. Was I was same thing with you, cop. Then I wanted to do something when it comes to pro, and then once you get in the workforce, you're like, fuck, I just want to make money. Period. So waiting tables, bartending. My first job ever was working at a fireworks stand. Like I just wanted to make money. Like period. The end. What about you, Joel? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, at first, astronaut. Because I like space stuff, but then I rode my first roller coaster, and I was straight on that because I don't like roller coasters.
I don't either, man.
And then a cartoonist. I was really obsessed with cartoons and comics and like Calvin and Hobbes, and I was pretty decent at drawing, but I just
Is that where you get the tiger from?
Yeah, and Detroit Tigers, but yeah, I really, really, really like Calvin and Hobbes. I still have the books, but they're in my room at my parents' house. Like all the collections and shit. But some people were I guess this kind of factors into my mental makeup. Some people were slightly better than me at drawing. I was pretty good, but some people were slightly better, so I just stopped drawing. In like the 5th grade. And then I don't know if I really thought about it too much in middle school, high school. I kind of just focused on like extracurriculars and stuff. And, at one point in high school, thought I wanted to be a journalist, but then talk about see how much journalists make. It's like, oh, I don't want to be a journalist. And yeah, I think that's like all. Yeah, I'll go through journalists. Oh, and then advertising. My dad was in the ad business, and I knew they made a lot of money. And then I went to college, and I should have been a film major because I was friends with a bunch of film majors, but I thought it was a stupid career because film majors don't make any money, and then I do something every day that involves film. So shows how smart I am. But yeah, that's about the whole gist of it.
If you had to go back to college, Joe, what would you do?
Be a film major starting freshman year, and then just stick with it, and then I would be graduated by now.
Nice. Not bad. Not bad.
In my mind, I mean, who knows? Like, you could say that,
you get
and
there,
then maybe you wouldn't be. But my life lesson was that I thought I was picking a career for money, so I bounced between two. I ended up wasting money by doing that because I bounced between two things. I wasn't really the thing I was obsessed with was like creative stuff, like film or whatever, and I was like, oh, but that doesn't make you any money. So I ended up doing things I wasn't so passionate about. And in college, you want to the college is easiest when you're pursuing the thing you're passionate about, unless you're wired a way that I would say many people are not wired, in which you can just identify what the highest paying career is and work your way towards that. Usually if you're smart, you're passionate about the things that are high paying, if you're really smart. But if you're passionate about a certain thing and maybe it doesn't make as much money, you should just pursue it anyway, because in college you don't have somebody slap you on the wrist if you don't turn something in. If you just leave, they're like, all right, bye, and you wasted a bunch of money. So you should just pursue the thing you're passionate about, and if you're passionate about it, you'll hopefully find a way to make it work if you're a positive person. So yeah, that would be my advice if I had a kid and they were wavering about what to do. I'd just be like, don't think about the money. I mean, I guess if you're going to be like a philosophy major or whatever, it's kind of you got to be honest with yourself about it's going to be rough, but at least get the piece of paper that says you did it. Because I spent between like 20 and 30 grand for nothing to show for it. Really, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I wanted to find something that like I could do, but is also something that would, pay the bill. Like you said, like you don't want to be, just major in something that you just made up, and like when you get out, there's no jobs available or whatever. So
kids think about that too much.
Yeah, I think you have to find a balance of finding something that you like to do and finding something that is going to help you make a living. Because if you go into something that you completely hate, but you are trying to make more money and you're not passionate about it, then it's probably going to be hard for you to get a job, because you're not going to be able to, like, I don't know, I guess kind of show that passion, in interviews and stuff like that, if you're not really driven to do anything. Some people may kind of see through that, or even if you get the job, being able to keep the job because you're, show up late for work, or you do this or that or whatever, just because you're, it's not something that interests you. But mine was kind of like D4 and stuff said, like, I wanted to be a cop and stuff, growing up, like we played, out in the woods and, just kind of did all that kind of stuff. And then actually, like, one of my best friends, he was pretty much my best friend growing up, that lived next door or whatever, he's like a U.S. Marshal now. And so, like, me and him, we'd always, we were always playing with, like, toy guns and stuff, and, like, going and playing laser tag and just crap like that. Like, we did that kind of stuff, like, all the time, because that stuff was interesting to us. And then, of course, I was pretty good at sports when I was younger and stuff, so it's like, oh, I'm going to be, in the NFL, or I'm going to, do all that kind of stuff. And, obviously I was never big enough or strong enough or fast enough or any of that kind of stuff. So, I think you kind of get a reality check, at least when you get in like high school sports, that, this is not very, I don't remember. I was probably in junior high when I was like, oh, that's probably not going to work out. But like a lot of kids, you score 20 points on your basketball team a game or something like that, and you're like, man, I'm going to go, to the NBA. And then you just realize that the rest of your teammates are fucking terrible. And so you're the only one that can score or something like that, or like I rush for 100 yards, then you realize, well, the other team hasn't won a game all year and can't tackle anybody, or whatever it is. I remember being in like junior high. I think it was like 8th or ninth grade, and we played against somebody. And, like I had a pretty good game rushing. I had like 2 touchdowns and stuff. And I was like, man, no, I like dominated these dudes. And then like they hadn't won a game all year, and they were just awful. And so I was like, well, but it just, I think the people that what was I trying to, but anyway, the people that try to, just become YouTubers, I think, like Speedy, D4, you may have been there when we were talking about it. Like all these kids like see these people and just assume, hey, I can do that. Which, I mean, everybody can become a YouTuber, but being able to have 1 million subs or 10 million subs or, whatever it is, it's not something that's easy. I mean, it takes a lot of luck and a lot of like just making contacts with certain people. Like I'm honestly, I don't think, I deserve the subs that I even have. Everybody's like, oh, you need 1 million subs. And I'm like, well, I don't understand why it would be assumed that I even deserved the subs that I have. I mean, for the most part, I just happen to be friends with D4, and he happened to get in a group with a bunch of people that ended up being good YouTubers. And so, I mean, I don't feel that I earned it as much as some YouTubers do, because I kind of, when I finally started doing YouTube, like I was in a bunch of people's videos and stuff, but when I finally started my own channel and did stuff, like my channel just like exploded because, I was friends with Jehovah and Speedy and D4 and Sidearms and everybody. And so, I had 100,000 subs like in a matter of a month, where most people, it takes them years to get to that.
Yeah. Lifetime, yeah.
I mean, even the ones that are pretty popular, I mean, sometimes they probably, went for a year or 2 before they even saw any kind of growth really to speak of. So, I mean, I think the YouTube thing is very much like, sports stuff. Like, you may be able to get, 200 views a video or something and be like, oh man, well, I'm going to be, one of the next, top YouTubers or whatever. And then, at some point you got to realize, this isn't a living to make, I've got to be able to.
It's not a career. I'll say that. It's not a fucking career.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not a career for really anybody, unless, I mean, you're
you
like
can't tell
the top.
Future. It's just a wavy thing.
Yeah, unless you're like the top 1% and you're able to invest and put money back and stuff like that, then I mean, like PewDiePie, he's not going to ever be hurting for money in his lifetime.
Yeah,
unless he makes a bunch of bad decisions. But
1 million subs, I was number 500 exactly. 500 on YouTube to hit 1 million subs. And that was in the top way less than 1%. Way less than 1%. And there's no way this is a career for me. Like, I don't know how long this thing will go. I can see if there's no more growth whatsoever, I see this thing maybe lasting 2 to 3 years. If that. That's stretching it out a bunch.
But doesn't that, I don't think that disqualifies as a career, because the average, I don't know what the statistic is, but the average American changes jobs X number of times in their lifetime. I mean, it just means, I would say it's
for
not
YouTube.
Stable. I would say it's not a stable career. I would put that word.
Yeah, it's definitely something that could just go away. But I mean, there's lots of jobs that you could just.
When I think career, I think of retirement, I think benefits, I think
exactly.
A lot of things.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to if you went out and opened your own business. Yeah. And say you had a little convenience store or something that you started, or a restaurant, and McDonald's comes in next door to you and puts you out of business. I mean, you still have that experience to go do something with it. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers that get into.
We've had a bunch of friends, yeah.
Yeah, like jobs with, maybe you get a job with EA, or you get a job with Twitch, or you get a job with, whatever, just because of your connections that you made. And so I think there's definitely, like, the networking stuff is important from it, but it's definitely, like, being just a YouTuber I don't think it's really a career. I think it's a lucky job.
I could see you doing that, Joel. I could see you taking YouTube and going to something else. Like the first group I ever played with on YouTube, 3 of them work at different jobs that are within the same realm. One of them works for Twitch. One of them works for an MCN that I'm with, and then one works as programming websites for different games and stuff. So I could see Joel doing that. I could see Jehovah doing that. Those are 2 people that I think for sure are going to find a way to stay within the business and do something with it. So I think Joel, I really think you would be great with like head of like Twitter gaming or something like that, where you have to reach out to people, write professional emails and things like that that have to go along with the whole thing, show up at events and be somebody that they can bounce stuff off of, that's been in the the YouTube game, been in the Twitch game, been in on the Twitter game. They kind of know the ins and outs of it and like that kind of stuff. I think you'd do great with that too, Joel. So I think that's something that you're definitely...
I don't know. One of my issues is I don't live in LA. If I wanted to do that, I feel like I'd have to commit to living in LA, and I don't know if I ever want to live in LA.
Yeah, I think you're Michigan pride. I don't know if you'd ever move, but I've seen people not live...
I would have a very tough time moving.
Yeah, there are a lot of jobs that you can stay. Like I know Twitch has some jobs where you can be head of this department or head of this department, and stay at home and do everything through there with business calls and things like that. I have a couple friends that do that are stay at home and they do stuff through Twitch. So it's not out of the realm.
And I don't know what the future holds. I know even with no matter what you're doing as an adult, I was at an open house today or a graduation party, whatever you call it, wherever you live in the world. My cousin graduated from high school, and so you have a little party. I was talking to a bunch of people there, and I have one cousin, a pretty stable job. He's like, I feel like they're gonna fire me. I feel like this and that, but what are you gonna do? And I have another, a relative. I don't know how you have relatives. You have no idea how this person's fucking related to you, but they're at every family event. And he's like, I'm an electrician. It's going well. I'm booking, getting solid bookings, but it slows down in the fall for whatever reason. So I'm nervous about that. And it just a part of getting older is accepting that there's going to be difficulties in like having careers, and there's no such thing as I wonder what the most stable job in the world would be. I guess being a billionaire's son or something like that. Unless you're one of the 1% of the 1%, part of getting older is accepting how fragile things are and how things can fall apart, and you just have to be okay with that, even if it's very hard to be okay with that. Because when you graduate high school, there goes your structure. School's a structure. Part of growing older is creating your own structure, and that's hard to do. And sometimes that structure is more fragile than other times. And yeah, so that's part of growing up, I guess. Just accepting that even if you may feel like you don't have a stable career, but you could be your neighbor could feel like they have a less stable career. So it's just kind of a matter of perspective more than anything.
What about you, Shadow? What was your growing up things that you wanted to do?
I can't wait to hear this.
What? Why? I wanted to be a YouTuber.
I've never. Because I've never heard you answer it. I feel like I've heard before.
Like for real, was there something that you wanted to do?
Say that before. I knew what they were going to say before they said it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think, and I mean, obviously, everybody else said, oh, I want to be a baseball player. I never had any interest in being a cop. I never really thought about it too much because I had a lot of adults. I mean, have you ever had an adult kind of tell you oh, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up either, sort of in a joking manner.
Yeah.
If you've ever had. So I kind of took that to heart, and I'm just oh, well, you know what? I don't. You don't know what the future holds. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going to be 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now. So I never really put too much thought into it. However, one thing that I wanted to do as a kid, and I still want to do now, even though I've never actually pursued it because I'm a lazy bastard.
2 chicks at the same time?
Same time, man.
Already done that every night. But no, always wanted to be a voice actor. or some cartoon. Like
I tried to get you on my GTA series. We did one pilot episode.
God.
Come on, man.
I know. I know. No, it's
My big break.
And just because, like, cartoons or anime, or if they're the same fucking thing, not gonna start that. But like,
You're lucky Sasha
You
here.
speak Japanese.
like animation has just always been like a big part of my life. Like when I was a kid, like I loved watching cartoons because obviously like they're kid shows and everything. But like I never really grew out of it. But instead, like I sort of had more of an appreciation for animation and like all the stuff that goes into it, and the voice acting in particular. Like because if you're actually acting, like live acting, you know, you have so many ways that you can like convey your emotions and everything. Like you've got like facial expressions, hand expressions, and all this stuff. With animation, like you really have to with animation and voice acting. Like yes, there is the actual drawing, but you really have to convey emotion just purely through voice. And that was something that like I really like appreciated more as I grew up. But it was never really something that I pursued because I just figured that everybody who, you know, was gonna be like get into voice acting or whatever, like has to have a really deep, like Barry White voice and like, you know, deep baritone and all that stuff. Like I just didn't think that I had the voice for it. But there is no real like voice for voice acting. Like pretty much, it's just something that you practice, and I don't know. I doubt any of you guys would know who this is, but maybe like somebody in the chat, if anybody knows who Greg Ayers is. That guy, I love his voice acting, but he's got a very unique voice that is very not deep at all, and just like hearing, and he gets a ton of work in like a lot of like anime English dubs and stuff. And so I mean that like kind of encouraged me. I'm just like, oh well, crap! Like you don't actually have to have like a deep ass voice.
Well, even like Justin Roiland, Rick and Morty, and he's been he's done voice acting and other stuff too. He doesn't have a deep voice; he has a normal voice, I would say.
Yeah, there's examples all over the place, and so like it was just one of those things where it's just like, you know, I'd love to voice act or something like that, but I don't really have the voice for it or whatever. But that's nonsense. Like there is no like specific voice for voice acting. You just need to be able to, you know, convey things. And so yeah, like just I think it would be so cool to like even just once, you know, like voice a somewhat prominent character in a show or a video game. I think that would just be the coolest thing ever. Now the problem with it is I am the least motivated fuck on the planet, and so it's probably not going to happen simply because I don't sell myself and I don't like, you know, pursue like any opportunities. Like, look, I don't even as much as I would love to do it and get into like that whole like industry and stuff. Like I don't even know where you would go to get in on that. Like I haven't even looked it up. So, but yeah, to answer the question, that's what I'm gonna have to go with.
So Shadow, I have a couple things on that. Like, would you do like different character voices, or would you just keep your voice?
I mean, I'd probably just keep my voice. I guess it would depend on the character that I'm trying to play.
Right. Have you ever tried to mess with any of that kind of stuff? Like, have you ever
privately,
tried to
where nobody can hear me? Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, man, why don't you do some RP like we do, man? fucking
the RP,
Chad, man. Fucking Chad. Could have that shit, bro.
The thing with the role playing is it's
RP is so great. Don't even
it's
talk shit,
different.
please.
I'm it's not my thing, and it's so weird because
It's a gateway.
Like,
It's a gateway.
I feel like it's so similar, and like I can't even necessarily come up with an argument for like why role playing and voice acting just like seems so different to me.
That's why I'm freaked out about it. I don't understand why you don't do it.
It's just I don't know. I guess because like I'm not really playing a character. Like there's no like story that people are getting like lost into. It's just like when people see you like role playing on like GTA or Friday the 13th, like there's no, I guess, like suspension of disbelief or anything like that. Like nobody watches your Friday the 13th videos and thinks like, oh, like that's actually Chad.
It is
like,
actually Chad, bro. What the fuck you talking about, man?
He's the real Chad.
Okay, so that's
D4's on, bro.
This is D4 voicing Chad, and D4 is funny. Like it's not like, oh wow, like this Chad character is. There's so much character development going on. Like I know his dad.
I'm
owns
trying,
this place
man.
Now.
I'm trying to build a story, okay?
Wait, Chad doesn't exist? I'm fucking
What?
right now.
I thought that was your friend that did videos with you.
Yeah,
But Shadow, what if the comments just got flooded with, we want Shadow to roleplay, we want roleplay from Shadow, we want RP. Like you kind of have to, right?
Well, Shadow
If
gives
everyone
into peer
just did
pressure
that?
really
Fuck
easily.
the
So
comments.
that's gonna happen.
He's so savage, dude. We've been playing fucking Friday.
The funniest thing
His
I heard
comment
that
said
all
that
week
he
was something
disabled
that Shadow
comments.
said on Friday. Some
I
kid
know.
was like talking about a bunch of. It was in my stream too. Speedy was there, and Speedy
I
started
was
cracking up too.
watching.
Yeah. You were there, D4 too. Yeah, it's like, and Shadow's just like this guy just like was talking forever, and they just stopped talking. And Shadow's just like, shut the fuck up, and it went to the loading screen, and I just busted out laughing because he like it said like what everyone was thinking probably.
Oh, Shadow's so he's savage when he wants to be, and he says, "No, savage, just be truthful." It's true, but yeah, I wish you would RP, man. Like RP's so much fun, and your Jason is 10 out of 10 already. The gameplay, fucking the RP would bring it over the top.
I've done it before with Jason.
you need to have Jason, man. That's the best fucking I've ever heard.
Hi.
I just fucking talk in and be like, oh hey, what you guys doing in here? You open this door? Like, I've done that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you need to stick to one, man. Find something you like. So I've done a couple of role playing things, and some have stuck, some have not. Some people like more than other. Like I've done the Booty Man, of course, and that's going way back. And that kind of stuck. People really like that, but I got tired of it. And I didn't want to do it anymore, so I threw it away. So if I didn't enjoy it, I didn't want to do it. So I did that. I've done Mr. Whiskers, my old guy voice, and it was okay for Happy Wheels, and then I kind of threw it in the trash. Too, it's like I'll bring it out every once in a while, but for the most part, not so much. We had the Hillbilly Hick, which is really easy for me, especially on GTA. And Orangelo with the nozzle stopped up. I've done a lot of RP stuff, and the best one by far is Chad. Like Chad has got so much response, and every time people see that character, they always think of kind of. I have a lot of people that send me. I've had more notifications, more replies, more people, and when I go to even Jehovah's stream, when I went to your stream yesterday, Joel, when I go to whatever I'm at, people call me Chad more than they will call me, hey, what's up, D4 or whatever. So it's got a lot of good response, and I really enjoy playing Chad. I think Chad's a funny character, and it goes well with the Friday 13th stuff. I don't know if it's going to be able to be formed into even GTA or another game, but I'm really enjoying that. I really like the RP
On
stuff.
that note, D4, I found out that you banned someone in my stream for saying he hates Chad, and that's not something I would ban someone for because I agree with that perspective.
Chad owns Twitch, so
No.
Yeah. So I'm feeling like you're a little.
His dad owns Twitch.
Maybe
His dad
you're a
owns
little
Twitch, man.
self-conscious about Chad. Maybe you're putting on a front like he's the best character I've ever done, but maybe that's just a bunch
it's
of
because
baloney.
people actually accept you.
If you say you
Chad.
hate Chad, you get banned in the chat.
No, he's poor, so he gets banned. And you're poor. That's totally different.
My
You
dad
can't be
owns
poor.
Switch.
Yeah,
Another
exactly.
$24.99 sub band.
that guy
Exactly.
said a bunch of negative shit about all of us. He said stuff about even Eric, and I'm not putting up with it. So that kid was very negative.
If you said something about Eric, Gunning Spray, that's fine.
No, there was another guy in there that was talking about how he liked Chad, and then since everybody else didn't like Chad, he didn't like him anymore. That it got old on him, and I was like, that's cool, whatever. But the other guy was just being straight up negative towards Speedy and I's role playing character, just to be a dickhead. And me and Elise had to put him down. So, anyways, yeah, that kid was just being a negative asshole, and I don't put up with negative assholes anywhere. So, and I said this kind of in your stream too. I do put up with you. It's true. Yeah, true. But I hate negativity all the way around. Like when you're at our streams and you're on our
statement. I hate negativity.
Yeah, I know, it is kind of funny.
Pisses me off.
But I hate it even more towards my friends. So if someone says they don't like you on my video or they don't like something, I get rid of it. I just don't like the negative attitude whatsoever. I think it's cancerous and it spreads. And you can say freedom of speech, but it's not really because I own that video. And when you post something, I have the right to delete it, censor you, or whatever I want to do.
What do you do if someone comments on your video, D4, like, you're my favorite crew member? What do you do with those comments? Do you leave them? Or do you just, like, I like leave them, but I wouldn't respond to it usually because it's kind of like, oh, well, thanks, but that means I'm, all my other friends are not your favorite, so I will let the comment be. But
it's a positive comment. It's a positive comment towards one of us. That's okay.
Yeah, but if it says like you're my favorite YouTuber, but Sidearms is a bitch,
he's like, thanks, I agree.
No, if it's positive to negative, it's got to go. If it says, hey, Joel's my favorite crew member. Like if you made something funny on my, it's got to go. No, but if we're doing like, let's say we're doing Friday the 13th RP, and you did a really good job of doing something, or you had a really funny joke, or like the other day I posted a video and it was like, that Joel laugh was my favorite laugh of all time, and I'm gonna.
When Chad got hit.
Yeah, exactly.
People thought I was like faking it.
It was genuine.
That was one of the funniest things we ever done in games.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say that's his opinion. It's the funniest laugh, and that's positive. So I'm gonna keep it. But yeah, negative comments and people do different stuff. Shadow might keep it. Shadow might reply to it. Jehovah might say you're a piece of shit on his comment section. But from my comment section, I'm gonna get rid of negativity.
Yeah, I have. I don't know how much longer you have in this.
No,
podcast,
you're good.
and I don't know how much. But yeah, I think this is something I hate it, and I mean, again, it's your channel, you can do whatever you want. But just personally, I hate it when you guys delete comments like that. Like, I just if I see like a negative comment about like, oh, this video sucks, or like this, side's annoying in this video, or whatever. Okay, side's annoying. Like, I agree, and I pin that.
Yeah.
But
pin.
But no, like with comments like that, like I feel like it's a lot better to. I mean, they get roasted by the other people in the comments. Like, if somebody says like some stupid shit, like you said, I will probably respond to them just because
that's you
feed off negativity. But even if I don't, like, somebody says like, oh, Joel's a dickbag, like 4 or 5 people are gonna comment and just like completely roast him. So, and I like, you could, if the argument is like imagery or whatever, like I think that looks a lot better. Just like to see, like, I guess such unity in a community or something like that, than to just like out of sight, out of mind it.
Well, and I mean, you're not the only, like, I let a lot of comments through, and I mean, some get picked up, but for those who don't know, they're watching, there's like, they didn't used to be this, but there's content filters now, so if you say a certain word, it gets flagged, so it won't even show up in the comments.
Yeah.
And so I have like some things filtered that would just be annoying to me, but I'm fine with negativity, and I know some other people are like this too. I'm not trying to generalize between any of us, but it just as a philosophy, my big problem is when someone's like, this sucks. This is the most annoying thing that I'll do in the comments, because I'm like trying to I view the comments as a valuable tool. Sometimes I'm trying to, I want to gauge my audience's interest. So someone's like, "This sucks," and I reply, "Why does it suck?" And then they like don't reply, or if they'll just reply because it sucks. It's like, well, then I like want to like take your ability away to comment. Like, so you can ban someone, or you can just every comment they make, they'll see it, but no one else will see it. So it's kind of like the funnier ban because they keep commenting and then no one else can see it. So that's like that's my favorite thing to do. I don't ever ban, but the funny is when they like think that people still see what they're saying. But that's it. Like if you're gonna say like, hey, I didn't like this video because this and this, and it's like that's a valuable tool, but it's like, hey, this sucks. It's like, what do I do with that? Like I don't. This is kind of I wouldn't reply to it, or I just say it's more
nonsense.
Frustrating if I ask why ask for clarification, then I don't get that clarification. It's like that's kind of fucking dumb.
Yeah, I'm kind of like D4 in that, like, if it brings negativity to it, then other people are either going to be, like, tell them they're fucking stupid, or they're going to get on their side and be like, yeah, he is fucking annoying, or whatever. So I think it just brings more negativity to the
tsunami effect
comments.
To some comments, yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's good to flag some stuff, but, like you said, just some stuff, like, if like, oh, you post a video about, sidearms being annoying or something, and then somebody in this stuff says, yeah, sidearms is annoying. Well, that's kind of the reason you pointed it out in your video or something, or if somebody's being a bitch about something and you call them out in the video, and then you flag everything that somebody says the same thing you said in the video, then I kind of see that as hypocritical. But I mean, it is your friend; they're not really their friend, kind of thing. But like it does kind of snowball if you just keep letting all the negativity in, and you get on there and talk shit back to them, and then somebody else talks more shit to you because they're like, oh, he's going to respond if I say something mean about his friends, and then it gets everybody else to do it. So I don't know, I'm kind of with D4 on trying to weed out.
Well, here's my problem too. I think I get a different end of the stick too because as my character is D4.
You get the tip?
Oh yeah, I get the tip of everything. Of course I do. Respawn, you can have the tip after this too. But at the end, like towards 2013, 2014, it was like a running joke that I played stupid characters and I did stupid things, and that you would have like a Jehovah or a Speedy or a Joel or somebody say, D4, you're stupid. And that's fine coming from you guys. And it was just for the video, and it was just for it was funny, and it was that kind of thing. It was part of the character on YouTube. And then it kind of carried over to people can say whatever the fuck they want about me in comments or on Twitter or whatever. And it got to be like malicious. People would say stupid shit. Just to say stupid shit to try to be funny on top of it. And so that, after a while, I was used to it when we were like really big and stuff. It was like whatever. But after a while, it was like it chipped away at me, and I was like, fuck this. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not educated and I don't have any kind of common sense whatsoever or anything like that. There's a character on certain things that I do, but I am a real person, so when you say stupid shit, I'm going to either block you or whatever. And so when people get blocked on Twitter from Jehovah or me or whoever, they're like, "What? Can you tell them to block me?" Well, you probably said something stupid either back in the day where we community blocked you, or that you said something stupid to us individually that we thought was out of line, so we blocked you. Because you just can't say where the fuck you want to all the time, and especially on our content. That's my whole thing, was you can't say something stupid on my YouTube videos or my Twitch stream about that's just negative bullshit. So same thing, I'm a mod in Joel's, and if someone says something stupid about Joel on his Twitch stream, I'm going to get rid of it, because that's kind of one of it. And if he wants to talk to me about it afterwards, we can talk about it, but that's just kind of where I come from. And on same thing with mine, I want you guys to delete negative stuff if you're in my Twitch channel and you see someone saying something stupid about you or me. I'm going to try to get rid of that as much as I can, because it's cancerous, and I just don't want to put up with it. And I'm same thing with D20, is people see that and they waste time. I like to delete their shit because they just wasted time out of their life coming up with their whatever rationale to say something stupid, so no one ever got to see it anyways, or got caught in a filter. That's my favorite, is the filter, is when someone writes a goddamn paragraph about how they hate something or something stupid, or they spam their channel in mine, and it gets caught in the filter, and I'm like, you just wasted your fucking time writing out a goddamn paragraph, 25 minutes of your life because you can't spell anyways, and it got caught in the filter, so go fuck yourself. That's my whole thing too. So anyways, it's just different things. Shadow likes to reply. Like, I replied to someone yesterday. I posted a CSGO funny moments, and they were like, oh, so where's the funny moments? And I was my whole gameplay is funny moments because I fucking suck, and that's what I put in there. So I just kind of countered them, and it was the top, I pinned it and made it a top comment. Just because I just want to reply to somebody. I do that every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm going to delete dumb shit. But I don't get a lot of negative comments. My like and dislike ratio is very good for my channel. I don't really have a problem. Like today or yesterday, I posted Friday the 13th. It was like 1.7 and K likes and then 16 dislikes. Like, if I go through my stuff, I don't get a lot of dislikes, and I think people do a pretty good job on my channel of being positive. I think that kind of carries over, and I saw a lot of that with Wildcat and all those guys. They would post something in their descriptions in 2013, 2014 about negative comments will be flagged or deleted or whatever, and the people in their comments did a really good job of attacking those people and getting them out, and they don't really get a huge number of those because A, the filter, or B, because of their community. So I do like the community aspect of it, but I don't leave it into the community's hands. I'd rather get rid of it whenever I can. So I don't know. It's just me.
That was an interesting perspective on the friends making fun of you so you get different comments thing. But overall, a very negative rant for someone who doesn't like negativity. So I don't like the hypocrisy, but I did like the insight on the friends call me dumb thing. I didn't think about that ever before.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna flag and delete that from the podcast before it airs.
It was like editing.
If you're hearing this, you just missed 30 minutes of the podcast.
That was really great what you said, Joel, that no one will hear. That was awesome.
Joel's an idiot. I don't know how he got in here.
You get to see what others don't.
But yeah, it's just a good insight into kind of what we go through on a daily basis, what we like to do when we were growing up, and what are the jobs that we want to do, and also taking breaks. This is basically the end of the podcast. I want to thank Respawn.
Wait, before it ends,
go ahead.
Can I just need to say this one thing. I need to get this off my chest. I was going to do it 2 weeks ago, but I forgot, and then last week, we didn't have
gay.
one.
We know already.
So I've been sitting on this for a lot longer than I've wanted to.
He's gay.
My intro's on this.
Can we, as just humanity, can we all as people start like implying that when somebody says something like pineapples are gross on pizza or golf is not a sport, can we just agree that, in my opinion, at the end of that is implied? I'm sick and fucking tired of having people respond like, oh, soccer's so boring. Oh, well, that's just your opinion. Oh, stop being so arrogant. Fuck you. Obviously, it's my opinion. Like, God.
Opinion, by the way.
Fuck.
Here's the thing with Shadow, though.
His opinion that it's
people love you, Shadow.
Do belong on pizza, though.
Get the fuck out of here, Respawn.
In your
Pizzas that are in the trash.
And it's just such a beta ass response to, oh, well, I like it, it's just your opinion. Yeah, like, fuck you. No shit. Come up with something
this
better.
This has been Shadow Beats Rant of the Week.
That's the youth today, though, is like they freaking glorify people that are in the media, or like, people on Twitter or whatever, and they take everything they fucking say as the truth, and that's just, I don't know. I agree with you, though.
This is why the podcast is great, because we get different opinions, and even though my opinion is always right and y'all's are wrong, but it's good that y'all basically like to talk a little bit. That's good. And I'm with you, Shadow, on all that stuff, but I will say this, on the podcast, you're the most loved person. When you look in the comments, everybody fucking loves you on every opinion you ever had, so I don't want to hear shit about you on the comments in the podcast, because fucking people love your ass. Dude, they go through the goddamn comments on any podcast.
Where the fuck is this coming from?
I'm just saying, they love your ass no matter what. So I don't know where. I guess it's on Twitter.
Oh, they got shitty taste.
Dude, exactly. If you roleplayed, you would be 10 out of 10. Am I right, Respawn? In my opinion. Okay, we are at the end of the podcast this time. And again, thanks for everybody for coming. I appreciate it, Joel. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, D20. Go fuck yourself. I'll see you.
I'm very busy.
Go fuck off. Shadow is here once again, as always. And Respawn, thanks, man. Since the first podcast, he is back again. So if you haven't showed him some love, maybe go follow him on Twitter, because he does post on Twitter if he's not going to stream. And he'll probably post on Twitter when he does stream. So if you want to check him out, all the links will be down in the description for Respawn as well. Glad to talk to you a little bit, my man. I'm glad you're back. I miss your ass more than anything. And you need to come back and at least play some games with me, at least.
Yeah, man.
That's exactly what we got to do.
But I'm not fucking role-playing.
No, you're the best fucking role player. Shut the fuck up. Jesus fuck Christ. On DayZ, that's all you did was pretend that you were somebody else. Jesus, shut the fuck up, please. But anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Remember, we will have everything posted on, what is the damn website? Fucking SoundCloud. We'll have everything on SoundCloud. Yeah, go fuck yourself. But anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.